This game was created with the purpose of a puzzle. It was requested as a simple assignment. Create an object that can change colors when touching another object aleatorily, and then use it to open a door. That was the simple task that was assigned, and I decided to create a game around it. And the idea was to create a labyrinth, and based on the Minotaur's legend. And as you can see, all the elements here describe the same purpose provided by the professor during the class, but I decided to add game elements, tokens that allow you to gain time, complex elements, combination of the same basic elements. For example, we had one single token in the beginning, two in the second element. In this one, I will have four of them and three doors. So the purpose is create complexity, and people shall be running against time in this case. The game was developed using Unreal Engine, and one of the goals for the game was to create a beautiful place where you can actually admire the views and everything. This is only the first stage of the game, phase one, even though we have six different levels on this stage. But as you can see here, it was based on Santorini, and all the diagrams. I always start my programs by drawing what I expect to see at the end. That's part of the design that I create, and some of the design that I used for the final layout of the labyrinth. This application was created with the purpose of reproduce the management system of an educational institution. I decided to work with the SATE uh, website, and I don't have the permission to use all the images that they have, but I reproduce them with academic purposes, not commercial purposes. So what you can see on screen right now is the PDF that I used to diagram, design all the elements that will be applied into the program later. And first as a drawing, then as a wireframe, more elaborated than a wireframe, and then the final windows in the program. You can see the difference between the first raw draft and the intermediate and the final product. This was created using WinForms. That was the requirement of the course, and it's connected to a Mongo database on the cloud. The main goal of this program is show the student, at least in my case, is that it can be used to create quick prototypes, reproducing functionality that allows to sell your own programs, or at least provide the idea of functionality for a prototype. This game is called Malone. It's based on the noir novels of the 40s, and we have different types of targets in here. The the targets on the wall are the basic ones. The squares will appear later, and then the triangles and other elements as well. As you can see, the boxes can be destroyed, the tanks explode, and eventually some of the targets will appear in the air, and they will defend themselves by increasing luminosity, the light that they emit. At some point you will not be able to see because it will be too much to bear. So the shooter should have certain ability to shoot in this game. It was a combination of elements, and this is the base of the first model. We have even a small sun running around, and the bad guys were created as 2D images. I wanted to go for a hybrid type of game, and they will eventually appear on time. We have 5 of them, and you need to destroy all the elements on the screen. To create my own scrapbook and then create my own images. As you can see here, based on my own image, I created the logo for the game, and I use AI to create the bad guys. We have here the process that I follow to create the environment, and then all the targets as well. This is another example of the usage of WinForms. This was a quick application created to display trading cards, in this case rugby. And we have, most importantly, the use of conditionals that affect the background and the color, both the images and the logos, every time one of the elements from the inner database is selected. This is one of my exercises from animation class. I was playing with the position of the cameras in here, and movement of them, also the speed, in order to provide different accents to the object on the screen. This is a mobile application developed for Android. It was conceptualized as a utility app for travelers where you can have radio, weather information, news, time, game, and also some extras. For example, an API to PayPal, so you can pay for stuff. And weather and radio are also using APIs, the news as well, and the time as well. The game was developed using the concept of a trivia where you select the names, and the structure of it was based on binary trees. So the time for the processing time is logarithmic in this case, and it's really efficient. So we reduce the time of everything. As you can see, some other countries have been included, and on the weather application, on the weather section of it, you get the information in real time. And for the news, I selected the top 10 most spoken languages in the world, as in the screen, in the example you can see on the screen right now, and it will display the information on a certain topic, as in the example you can see displayed right now. This is looking information about dollars, and it's bringing information now. This is the PayPal API, and it allows the user to get access to its account or pay directly using the phone. The following is an example of synchronization of movement between a simulated object and a real object using video recording. The initial movement is hard to calculate because of the physics, but a huge timesheet was created in order to measure the position of each one of the elements at a certain point in time.
All you gotta do is put the ring on this bottle. Over here, they got it. We're gonna win right here, right now. Wow. What do you want, sweetheart? Anything but me. You can't get me. You can't get me. Well, I eat too much. I want the menu. Here we go, who's next? Who's next? Who's ready? Here we go. Another winner. Another winner. Watch out, big girl. Don't stop, don't stop. What? What do they want? They want me? I need to get something down there, I guess. Come in, see what you want. Go out and see which you want. No, you want black? Yes. Ladies back there want tickets. 6 tickets, 1 bucket. Hurry up, let's get it. Come on. Ain't no negotiation. 6 tickets, 1 bucket. That's what the state says. Here we go, who's next? What? He wants 2 buckets. He really wants to take it there that bad. Right. Cool. Let's do it. I want you to win it. Your choice. I want to tell me anything you want. One right here, right now. Choice. Who's next? All you gotta do for the ring on this model. That's right. Look at the size of these prizes, ladies and gentlemen. They're state size, state bear, teddy bears. That's right here, right now. I'll take you right here with tickets.
This is the same educational management system that was presented before. In this case, this is a web application. Has been created using React and a connection to a Mongo database online, HTML, CSS, etc., different libraries. And again, it was used to duplicate the sensation, the feeling of the site website. I don't have permission to use those images. I use them for academic purposes. But as you can see, this is the Mongo database on the cloud. On the final version of the project, the application itself, regular expressions were included in order to avoid the usage of SQL queries or any other type of hacking of the system to avoid security issues. Also, the passwords were encrypted when being sent to Mongo. In this example, you can see the password itself, but in the final version, everything was encrypted, so it would not be readable. It will be decrypted and encrypted again in the system itself. For the final project of game development, all the students were given the task of create a replication of the functionality of the Pac-Man game, but I decided to go further than that and actually replicate Pac-Man as it is with the authorization of the professor, of course. I don't own any of the signs, images, logos, etc., etc. I reproduce everything with academic purposes. But this one was a great example of how to work with the artificial intelligence included in Unreal Engine. And even though the movement of the elements is not too fluid, you can see when the Pac-Man it gets close, the ghosts start chasing him. The ghosts react when the pills are eaten, and they actually got freezed. Not the eating itself, but the main functionality is there. I don't have the sound in here, but all the sounds were reproduced in order to provide a sensation of the game. You can see the ghosts running away from the Pac-Man there.
Good day, my name is Frank Berrocal. I've been working with the company ProfileTree to create a plugin that allows them to create content in an easier way. They work with WordPress. WordPress is a platform created to develop websites. You can see here several examples of that. Let me bring the website that I use for testing purposes. And as you can see here in the plugins, the plugin has been already implemented. It's a customizable template for content authoring at ProfileTree. So this is basic WordPress functionality. Testing. And this is a table of contents that they use. And this is the plugin created for the customer. As you can see, it would immediately add summary, titles, images, video, and paragraphs as well. The second part of this project is this article dashboard that provides information in real time on how the article is performing. So let me bring some dummy content we can use to start filling this information. Yes, maybe an image as well. And we can add more paragraphs just to fill information. After publishing the page, we need to refresh it, and then we can select the template again. Now with all this new content, you will see how the indices change, and the evaluation of this article is 106%, which is more than good based on the standards from the customer. The only element that is failing is the structure, and I provided a general index so the author has a good idea of what's the development of the article itself, but I also separated the structure and the wording. The structure is the amount of elements they use. So in this case, they could use even more elements from the page, the inner blocks, images, more videos, more lists, for example. Also providing the amount of words that they're using. So another project created for this customer was a translator of metrics from Google Analytics Universal to Google Analytics version 4. So the customer wanted to be able to keep looking at this information. This was developed in Google Data Studio, and as you can see in this example, and all the metrics for page views in this case are being shown as a single graphic. This is the cumulative data as well, and several visualization for the customer. Those are the projects developed for ProfileTree. I expect you have enjoyed this video, and thank you so much. My name is Frank Berrocal.
This is a short film that I created for the animation class. It was inspired on the feeling of an ad. again, the highest topic of this project was how do I design everything by sketches at the beginning. Here's the storyboard for the whole ad, then the design of the landscape, the car, the lighting, the house itself, which was an independent project at its moment. The selection of the car, I decided to go for a meta-human image based on Elon Musk. And this is the last of my projects. I hope you have enjoyed this portfolio. I will be creating more projects in the future.